said Ratty.
I can see that the speed brings nothing but trouble. I hope you are through now with the horse and cart. Horse and cart?
Toad repeated. There was a strange, far-off look in his eyes.
Oh yes, I'm through with the gypsy carts forever. I'm going to get a motor car.
Think of that. Well, Rat and Mole managed to get Toad safely home, and they put him straight to bed. They locked him in too, for he was raving noisily about his motor car, and they sat themselves down the hall. But they did not know Toad. Stone walls could not make a prison for Toad. He knotted a rope of twisted sheets and slipped down it to the ground.
A motor car, I've got to have a motor car.
He panted as he trudged away down the moonlit road.
I'll have one too, if I have to beg or borrow it.
Rat and Mole were shocked by Toad's wild excitement. But imagine how much more shocked they were next morning. They were still on the ground at the bedroom door when they saw the headlines in the local paper.
Toad arrested, steals car!
Screamed the headlines.
Toad!
Cried his friends.
It can't be. He's safe in bed.
They quickly unlocked the door and flung it open. The rope of sheets still hung out the open window, and Toad indeed was gone. Yes, it was just as the paper had said. Toad was in jail for stealing a car. On the day of the trial, Rat and Mole and McBadger sat in the courtroom, feeling sad indeed. But not Toad. He was as gay as you please. He explained to the court he had not stolen the car at all. He had bought it from some weasels. In exchange, he had given them the deed to Toad Hall.
The deed to Toad Hall.
The words swept through the crowded courtroom.
He traded his home for a motor car.
No one could believe it, no one but Toadie's own friends. They knew how strong his longing for speed could be. The judge and jury did not believe it, especially since the weasels lied and said it was not so. So Toad was found guilty and sent to jail for 99 years. Poor Toad, he thought. Everyone had forgotten. Poor Toad. He thought everyone had forgotten him. Months passed, and he sat huddled in his dreary cell. But his mind was not idle, not Toad. And on Christmas Eve, he slipped past the jailer and made his escape. Of course, the jailer was not fooled for long, but by the time he knew what had happened, Toady was on his way. Disguised as a stout little old lady, he was speeding through the night. And where did he go? Why, straight back to the quiet spot beneath the river Willows, where Ratty and Mole were spending a sad and lonely Christmas Eve. When Toad appeared in the doorway, he found that Ratty and Mole had another caller. McBadger was there, talking excitedly.
We've made a great mistake, lads,
he was saying.
Toad did trade Toad Hall for a motor car, and the weasels are living there now. We must go and get the deed from them, so Toadie's name will be cleared.
With this good news, they were glad indeed to welcome the runaway Toad. It was midnight when the four friends rode silently up a secret tunnel that led back from the river to Toad Hall. Then up the back stairway they crept to the great hall where the weasels were, all sound asleep. They woke up at last, just as Mole was making off with the deed. And then the fight was on. Oh, what a fight it was!
Wham! Slam! Crash! Bam!
Our friends were outnumbered, but they fought like heroes, and at last they won. So Toad was clear of the charges, and better still, he promised to give up motor cars.
What a happy day,
said Ratty when it was all settled.
Isn't it wonderful?
Said Mole.
Come, lads,
said McBadger.
Let's drink a toast to New Year and to the new Toad. Crash!
The sound of falling bricks broke in on their toast, and from outside the windows a voice called to them.
Come on, you fellows!
Called the voice, and they knew at once it was Toad.
This is the life, travel, adventure, excitement, and the sky is the limit!
They ran to the window and looked out. There was Toad, waving to them from a brand new airplane. Yes, life went on peacefully there beneath the willows, but peace and quiet were never enough for Toad.
Well, lads,
said McBadger after a moment, with a thoughtful shake of his head.
Here's a toast, nonetheless, to our jolly, charming madcap, the fabulous Mr. Toad.
Very
like
good.
That.
Now, how do I turn it off? Very good. That was fun.
Let's watch it. You want to?